Are you looking to have more confidence in interviews? Well, today I'm going to give you some tips on how you can be more confident going into interviews. And if you stay until the end, I have an extra special point for you then as well. Now, before we dive in today, I wanted to ask you if you are really looking to enhance your self esteem and confidence, take it to the next level, and have weekly insights to that, well, you can subscribe to our weekly free newsletter. Just check the show notes below and you can sign up. Just click that link. So, job interviews. I've had so many job interviews in my life, majority of which I struggled with, like to begin with, if I'm honest. And I really lacked confidence. I was shaking. I was nervous. Maybe you can relate to this. And it appears there's still quite a lot of challenge in this area. And I've had quite a lot of feedback from podcast listeners who have been like, it's really useful to hear about confidence tips, but I'd like to hear more about job interviews, right? And I've also done lots of interviews on things like podcasts, TV shows, not like national TV shows or something, but like kind of more in the virtual world. Although it's on the list, it's going to be there. It's going to happen. I'm going to be on TV. Not anytime soon, but it will happen. Now, I've learned some certain things about building my confidence for interviews. And I just really want to emphasize this. People sometimes see me like do like public speaking. I've done Toastmasters, which is a public forum. Like people stand me in front, they think, oh, I'm really confident. I present at meetings and all sorts of things in like professional environments. Obviously, do a podcast every week, do guests. I put a lot of videos out on social media. It wasn't always like that. I had to build this level of confidence. Like it really irritates me because people just limit. What irritates me is people holding themselves back, and I hate seeing people holding themselves back because they're like, "I'm just not a confident person. That's it. I can't speak publicly. I can't do this, this, and this." Well, if you keep telling yourself that story, that's going to happen. I pulled through it though. Like I was terrified to even say a couple of words to someone I didn't know. I used to be really shy about putting myself out there, being noticed by anyone, and I have to build that level of confidence, right? It's not just the click my fingers and it will happen. So that's why I really want to share that with you because now I'm able to go into interviews like I've been in job interviews and may not necessarily be successful because of the technical experience. Yeah, I find myself very confident in those places. And it's all about learning and applying, not just thinking, oh, this is what I need to do for confidence, but actually living it. Now, I want to ask you this. How's it helping you, like I asked you before, about getting that story of like, I'm just not a confident person. I can't put myself out there. I'm not going to be confident in interviews. Well, it probably doesn't help. And you probably keep going around in the loop. So I'm just going to give you three simple tips. And then, as I said, I got an extra point after then as well, right at the end. So the first thing is knowing, don't have so much certainty. You've got to know every question they're going to ask, whether it's a job interview or kind of a TV interview or podcast interview, because you're never going to guess all the questions unless you can travel through time, which I highly doubt you can do. Right. I wish I could. Actually, I don't. Maybe I do. I don't know. Anyway, you can never get all the, but you can judge roughly what questions are gonna come up, right? If you do a bit of research and if you really don't know, ask someone else, right? There's plenty of people to ask in certain areas, and then write down like evidence to each bit of each question you get, particularly in job interviews. You'll want to make sure that you have evidence to talk about the question you've been asked. Okay. So that's the first thing because preparation will really make you more confident. Second thing, also linked to preparation, is rehearse it out loud. Rehearse your answers and what you say out loud. There's one thing practicing reading off a piece of paper, that's great, or saying it in your head. It's a different thing saying it out loud. When you project, it sounds completely different. I remember like when I first started making YouTube videos. Now I know that's not the same as an interview, but I would be like, okay, I'm going to say this, this, and this. Okay, great. Now I get to it and I'd have to like refilm it several times. Now I'm a bit more fluent because I make 5 podcast episodes a week. So I'm pretty, again, like I'll stumble on my words and things like that. And I'll go, of course, sometimes. So that's natural. Yeah, I'm pretty fluent and confident in what I'm saying. And I'm not reading by word off a script. I will now and then, if you're watching me on YouTube, look in a certain direction to maybe see some points that I'm going to cover. Yeah, that just comes through practice of saying things out loud again and again and again. So as you're going into an interview, practice saying things out loud, because you'll get a bit of a shock if you keep practicing reading stuff and answers, because when you project stuff, it's completely different. So practice talking out loud, right? And the key thing is, whatever kind of practice you're doing, is praise yourself, pat yourself on the back, because it will make your nervous system want to do more of it. The third thing, change your physiology. If you've got your shoulders slumped, your head down, not smiling, that's going to impact how you feel. So instead, get up, move, smile, right? Even if you don't feel like it at first, because then that will create a different feeling in your body. Do the power pose. The classic is the power pose. Look up Amy Cuddy on YouTube. It's when you stand like Superman or Wonder Woman in a pose, and then you just put a smile on your face for like 2 minutes, 3 minutes ideally, and then you'll get a rush of feel-good chemicals in the body, like endorphins, in order and sort of a dopamine hit to start feeling better, and therefore that will create confidence. Now, I've got an extra point for you as well, which I think is super effective, one of the most essential keys I've used. I just wanted to mention again, though, that if you want to keep up to date with all the podcast episodes and get a weekly confidence tip, all you got to do is subscribe to our free self-esteem and confidence newsletter. And that's just linked in the show notes below. Just hit that link and you can sign up for that free newsletter. Okay, my bonus point. Visualization is absolutely critical, I found, right? And I want to be clear about visualization. If you just visualize things and don't do any action, things aren't going to change. It's about actually taking work, doing work in your real world, yet also visualizing things, because your brain doesn't know the difference between fake and reality. Okay, so visualize yourself having a real confident interview, like them asking questions and you answering them confidently as much as possible. And then, of course, going out and practice. Because if you start feeling into it when you're visualizing, like be yes at the interview, that was a great interview, I did amazing. If it's a job interview, yes, I got the job. If it's a podcast interview or a TV interview, yes, I did amazing, everyone loved me. And start feeling those things, because when you get to it, it'll surprise you. You're more confident than you think, because your brain thinks you've already done it. But the feeling, don't just think of images. You've actually got to feel the emotion, the feel good emotions as well, even if it takes a bit of practice. So that's what I've got for you today, how to be more confident in an interview. So I appreciate you for being here. You improve other people's lives by being the best you. And remember, you are in control of your own self-esteem and confidence.